I'm Rob
Thanks for
Licuria,
having
Senior
me.
Editor at Gold Derby, here with Teresa Ruiz, who co-stars in Netflix comedy Mo. Teresa, um how did you work out the show's underlying themes about belonging and identity and wanting to be seen when you took on the role, and how did they resonate with you personally?
Um, I think there's a lot of things that you don't work on as an actor if you have the right background, I suppose, to play a character. Like there's some characters that you'll have to work very thoroughly in, but there are others where you just get it. And for me, Mo was that. It was one of the few scripts that I read because I usually read the series or the script and I'm kind of going like, oh, when is this going to get it wrong? At some point I'm going to have a different point of view, right? And in this the 7 8 episodes, I was just like, oh okay, oh okay, like everything was like they totally got um the themes and the truths of the show. That was very important for me.
You know, when when I watched the entire season, I was thinking that Maria reminded me a lot of, the Oscar-winning Marissa Tomei role in My Cousin Vinny. And I thought, yes, I'm the only one that's thinking this. And of course, no, I've now seen that it's something that had come up quite a bit. It's such a compliment to you that people are reminded
Yes,
of that performance. And I just wonder, what's your reaction to
thank
comparing the
you.
two?
Uh, that's one of my most favorite, not just performances, but reference. Just when I was going to acting school, that it was Marissa Tomei that I would watch over and over again. So I'm pretty sure like that has an impact on you as an artist, right? Like the things that you see or you, um, and then when we were, I think it was in the pilot, we were doing the hair and makeup, and I remembered precisely. I remembered Marissa Tomei coming out of the bathroom with the little deer. You see a deer, and then you, and I said, "Can I have that hair?" And we did that like little wet hair with the brush. So that's a total honoring
Yeah,
of her work. I mean, she's one of my greatest idols. So I'm very happy that that came through.
it
you
did.
know like it's always beautiful to bring back those little like, hey, remember this incredible artist.
That's right. And you're,
Yeah.
Maria is obviously her own character. She's a strong, independent woman, but she's indispensable to Mo. And she supports him, but she's a firecracker. And is there much of her personality, apart from her background, her personality that is your own?
Yeah, for sure. I usually work on dramas or very crafted characters. Like a lot of the things that I do are very character driven. Like I do a lot of character work, whether it's in the body or in my appearance and the voice and accents. Like I do a lot of that. And with Mo, maybe it was the first time that I was closer to who I was, but at the same time, that's very hard
Yeah.
because I felt like, oh, I'm not doing much. I didn't have a lot of the hard covers that you put on, yet you still have to, I suppose, feel and some, yeah, it's a different type of monster. But it was incredible. I really felt like I was flying at some of the scenes with Mo. There was so much improv too.
Wow. See, because like many of the
Hmm.
show's fans will recognize you as your formidable role as cartel power player Isabella Bautista in Narcos Mexico. That's how I remember you. And this is complete, like it's like you did a complete 180 in playing this character. But I was then thinking, this must be exercising different muscles as a performer because of the improv and because you're trying to be funny. Is that actually just as difficult as playing the artifice of a cartel power player?
Yeah. I think so. But also the thing is, I was with Mo, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
was like when you have somebody that is so funny and creative and innovative and you're with him, so it's easier, anytime. And in my career, I've had the great privilege to work with really good actors. So they always will bring you up. They'll always, you know, it's difficult, I suppose, when you're trying to save the boat. But in this kind of things, they kind of fly. Like with Mo, I think it's one of the times that I remember the most not remembering like what happened in that day. It was just like when you lose your sense of who you are. That happened a lot in Mo. It was just him and me riffing, you know, like kind of like music. I think I can compare Mo to music and the making of it. You know, there's a lot of very musical to me.
Wow. That's, I mean,
Yeah.
that is a really interesting comment. I've never really heard that talked about before, I guess, but is that dangerous? Do you feel like you're a bit untethered and you just don't know where you're headed, or did you feel pretty secure because of your relationship with Mo?
I didn't feel secure. I had just met Mo. And I remember that like one of the things that Mo used to tell me was like, you have to trust me. You either trust me or you don't trust me, because if not, we're not going to make it. So very early, A24 was there too. So it's hard not to feel safe when you're working with a company that puts out such beautiful material. And I've been working with Netflix for a while. So there were safety nets, of
Yeah.
course, that, you know, I was like, it's going to be fine. But yeah, I think it was also, I gained weight. Just nobody asked me. I just thought that would be a body that. So
Yeah.
there was a lot. I cut my hair really
Yeah.
short. I dyed it. There was all this stuff that nobody asked me to do, and I just felt there would be something, or it would add something. So it was a big leap of faith. Like that whole character is like a leap of faith, and it was uncomfortable, and it was like, oh, you know. But it was as soon as I started. I think I just let it go, and I didn't care where the camera was, and I didn't care to be either beautiful or in the common sense of
Yeah.
the way we're used to. Yeah.
That's
And then I
fascinating.
saw it. Then I saw it, and I was like, oh, there's something. There's
There's
something.
something there. Because, like, honestly, anybody who knows Mo Amer, his comedy, has turned on the show and thought, okay, this is going to be awesome because we know what he's like. But I was not expecting Maria and how much I really enjoyed your performance. Like,
Thank you.
she's so funny. You were so funny. There's a scene,
Thank you.
and it's actually, I think it might be in the trailer where she says, "Do you want me to wear the hijab?" And he's like, "Well, maybe we can go to like, the basic Muslim, whatever it is," and then you have back and forth about titty cleavage and bacon. That is just the best writing. Do you recall that scene? And was it easy for you guys to get that back and forth?
That was all improv. The
Was it
whole thing.
really?
Yeah, the whole thing. Like for even the
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
persinarlo. Yeah, I still don't know how you say that in English. Persinarlo, right?
yes.
That was also, it was not scripted, and I did it, and then Mo was like, no, 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 the
Yeah.
devil, and I kept doing it, and then I think with Mo, like the thing about slapping him, you know, that was something that I just do to him on set. Like I don't like that line, and I'll go like that. So then it stayed on the thing. But you know, it was just little games that made it to the screen, and Mo is very great at going with it and making it, yeah, making it fly. But that whole first scene, that's, I think it of course there's a guide of where he wanted to take it,
Yeah.
but he was very generous with me as to say, hey, this is the arc, now let's fill it, right? Let's put all the ornaments of the tree.
Yeah. It's perfectly fitting.
Yeah.
So you didn't know much about Mo when you took on the role, I read, and his style, but then you met each other on Zoom, and then that
Mhm.
connection, how did you work on that connection? Because on the show, the chemistry is obviously very strong, but that doesn't
Yeah.
come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was very immediate. He had seen Narcos. So when I first zoomed with him, he was very kind and gentle to me. That was already for me, like, oh, he knows my work, he knows the way I work, he likes it. So that's already very inviting to an artist, right? To just
Yeah.
feel like you're accepted and like your work will be appreciated. So, and then the pandemic came, so the show got postponed.
Mm-hmm.
That was about a year maybe. And in that year, we had a lot of cell phone conversations. And I'd like FaceTime, he could FaceTime me, and I'll be like, when are we going to do the show? you better do it. I'm going to take on another show. I'm leaving you. So we started really developing this like little back and forth over the Zooms about the show getting made or not.
Oh,
Um, and even finally, I think like a couple of weeks before we were going to do it, I had another project. So I called him. I'm like, if you like, I'm really going to go and take another job. I'm done. He'd be like, no, you know. So a lot of this relationship was built on this little chunks.
I love it.
So when we met in person, we already felt like we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, and you had this kind of familiarity with each other where you could just say, "I'm done. I'm out of here," and that makes it even funnier because that's how couples talk to each other. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. We were like a couple on the FaceTimes, even before we met.
I love it.
And then I got to Houston and I called him. I think I got there like a weekend before we started, and I said, "Hey Mo, on this weekend, would you take me to A-Leaf and show me every little place you would show me if we were dating for years?" He was
Yeah,
like, "Really? You want to do that?" I'm like, "Yes, please. I'd like to know the city through its food." And we went, and that's also how I made the choice of just eat a lot and see what happened in my body. So I
wow.
figured that's what we would do as a couple.
That's so, I mean, that's everything. Food is not only relationships, but
Yeah,
the place that, you know, the place that you're from, it's all about the food.
yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about representation because it comes up a lot in interviews about this show. It's about a Palestinian refugee. It's
yeah.
also about immigrants generally and their struggles and also just their stories. Are you looking forward to a time where we don't even really talk about this as a talking point? It's not even something that comes up because it's just everywhere, or are you happy to at least shine a light on the story that immigrants have? My parents are immigrants. I'm sure you're an immigrant. You know, we all kind of
Yeah.
share the same story, right? What does that mean to you?
Mhm. Um, my family crossed the desert to get to the US. So in that sense, I understand what Mo went through to get out of Palestine, to get out of a war, to come. Um, I understand the importance, and I understand why we keep talking about it. At the same time, I carry that with me, right? Just the sound of my voice has it. The way I look, the way I touch, the way I move things. Like my aunts and my grandparents are all they live in me, right? Just like they live in Mo, and I think there could be a nice balance where we talk about this because it's necessary, but at the same time, we are also allowed artistic neutrality where we can tell whatever stories we want to tell in the bodies that we come in. You know?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think for people who haven't seen Mo yet, yes, the background, the story is really important, but this is actually just about this really funny guy and this beautiful repartee that he has with people in his life, including Maria.
Yeah.
Teresa, thank you so much for your time. It's such a beautiful show, and congratulations on a great performance.
Thank you. Also, the importance of comedy, I would say. This show
Yeah,
really helped me understand the power and the importance of comedy because the topics that we're talking about are so extremely hard. And
I
if we
know.
wouldn't say it in a way that are making people laugh, like a lot of the comments that I get is people watch it one time and they laugh. They watch it the second time and they cry. I think that's pretty incredible of this show.
That's beautiful.